Shalom, shalom, brother Kadal Babarch with some more precepts. First, I'm going to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, still rule well. Peace, blessed, double for elect. Shalom, shalom. So this is started Genesis, because what I'm labeled this video is, who are the Egyptians, man? It's just milk scriptures I'm going to bring out. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 10. And we'll start at verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim. Mizraim is another word for Egypt, man. You know, so that's where these Hamites dwell, that are called, that we know as the Egyptians, man. And Phut and Canaan. And I'm just going to basically get into who the Hamites were. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sapta, and Ra'ama, and Sapteka, and the sons of Rama, Shaba, and Dedan. And Cush begot Nimrod. And he began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was the mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod the mighty hunter before the Lord, and the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, Kalni, and the land of Shinar. So, in the land of Babylon, man. For Babel is the Greek. You get into the Greek word of Babylon. So Khan. I really just didn't want to get into who the Hamites were. I just want to get into who the Egyptians were, which they are Hamites. Okay, let's go to 1 Chronicles 1:8. Book 1 Chronicles. Come on now. Okay, on 1 Chronicles. Jump down, start at verse 8. The sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, Phut, and Canaan. So it was just clarified again who the sons of Ham were, man. And these are the generations, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, man, were the generations that repopulated the earth during that time after the flood, man. So these were the modern Egyptian people look like, man. They're got brown ruddy skin. You know, they look like they could be some Jakes, man. But no, I'm really getting into this to further clarify that we was under captivity on these so-called Egyptians, man. And let's see if I can find it in the book. Alright. This is from Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor. And so it gets into basically the dark races on Earth. You know, the melanated races on Earth, Slovakia. So the Egyptians. I'm gonna get into who the Egyptians are. Then I'm going to the Zaldivar Compact Dictionary. As you know through there who they are as well. The Egyptians are Africans. So they are Hamites, sons, basically descendants of Ham. The Egyptians are Africans. The Egyptians are Africans and descendants of the Hamites and descendants of the Hamites. All Hamites are the offspring of their father Ham. All Hamites are the offspring of their father Ham. The first Egyptian was called Mizraim. So, did not say that? According to the Hebrews, this Mizraim was a son of Ham. In Genesis 10:6. Ancient and modern scholars have established the location of Mizraim as Egypt. The word Mizraim is plural form meaning upper and lower Egypt. About 3,300 years before the Christian era, Egypt was divided into two kingdoms. A great melanated pharaoh king named Menes united these two kingdoms by conquest. The later pharaohs wore a dynastic insignia on their crown, the snake of Lower Egypt and the hawk of the Upper Egypt, representing the time when Egypt was divided. This subsequent pharaohs held the title of king of Upper and Lower Egypt. After Egypt was united, her navy went out into the Mediterranean and traded with the inhabitants of the coastal towns and islands such as Crete and Cyprus. Thousands of years ago, the Egyptians established powerful governments and built empires that extended in all directions. So meaning they were strong, man. Now you can understand why we as a nation was under captivity under people, because we went off away from our power, man. And you know what I'm saying? The Egyptians dealt with us horribly, man. Hamites dealt with us horribly, man. Thousands of years ago, the Egyptians established powerful governments and built empires that extended in all directions. They even held dominion over their Canaanite brothers in Palestine for a long period of time. These black Egyptians, or these melanated Egyptians, were proficient in mathematics, medicine, engineering, and agriculture. They used geometry to resurvey the land every year after the Nile River overflowed. Pythagoras, the Greek mathematician, learned mathematics from the melanated Egyptians. By the way, algebra came from the melanated Arabs. The word algebra came from the Arabic word algebra, and it means the signs of equations. When the Moors conquered Spain and Portugal, they carried algebra into Europe. So this is the history of the Egyptians now. And Mizraim begot Ludim and Anamim and Lahabim and Naphtuhim and Pathruzim and Kasluhim, out of whom came Philistines and Caphtorim. When Mizraim begot his children, they dwelled in Egypt, and them was the descendants of Mizraim, man. They dwelled in Egypt, except the Caphtorim and Philistines, which inhabited the land of Crete in the Mediterranean Sea. And in remote ancient times, the people not only of Asia and Africa were melanated, but also the people of the southern European lands on the Mediterranean Sea. The melanated races that controlled the commerce and established colonies on the Mediterranean were the Phoenicians and the Philistines. Herbert Winnet, in his book It Began in Babel, says that Crete was a dominant power during and up to the 2nd century BC. This Cretan power could have been no other than part of the Phoenician Carthaginian Empire, because the city of Carthage did not fall until the year 146 BC. Where did European civilization and culture begin? Scholars say it came from Africa and Asia through Crete. Investigators consider Crete to be the birthplace of European culture. There are many myths surrounding the islands of Crete. One is it was to Crete that Zeus, father of the gods, abducted the Phoenician princess Europa and their father 3 sons upon her. Zeus came in the form of a white bull and abducted a black princess or melanated princess because the Phoenicians were melanated people. Some scholars believe that before the Indo-European penetration of southern Europe and Asia, Greece was called Europe. So it's just another place where the Edomites dwell, man. Most likely some Cretans settled in Greece. Herbert Winton said that the name Europe is derived from the Semitic word Arab. He said that the ancient Asiatics considered the word Arab to be something dark, ignorant, and mysterious, and therefore Europe was the dark part of the earth. A social cataclysm, earthquake, struck the island of Crete and destroyed its capital as Knossos about 2000 BC. These melanated Philistines migrated from Caphtor, Crete, to the land of Canaan and settled among the Palestine. The land of Palestine gets its name from Palestinians who inhabited that region. So, you know, the Egyptians are just, you know what I'm saying, they're just melanated Hebrew Hamites, man. That's all they are, man. They're just Hebrew Hamites. Just like we're Hebrew Israelites, they're Hebrew Hamites and Hebrew Japhites, man. So it'd be Hebrew Hamites, Hebrew Japhites, Hebrew Israelites, man. But we're talking about the Hebrew, they're Hebrew Hamites, and the Egyptians, they fall right under that line. So it's like here. But check out, that's from Babylon to Timbuktu, and that was a little history. Now I'm going to go into the Zonderberry Compact Dictionary and get ham. Get who ham is, man. Like I said, this is just a milk, man. I just want to bring out a little edification again, man. Okay, ham. Ham, perhaps hot is what they call it, because the land of Africa is hot, man. The land of Canaan, man, is very hot, man. The youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the melanated races, not the Negroes. Not you, Jakes, man. Not Judah, Benjamin, Levi, man. You know what I'm saying? And we know for sure not Issachar and all the other brothers and sisters from the Northern Kingdom, man. So for better words, it was for better saying, not the Israelites, man. Not as he became the progenitor of the melanated races, not the Israelites, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. He in indecency when his father lay drunk and brought a curse upon Canaan. Okay, let me just bring out some precepts, you know, so we can just further verify. Slack is bro about for sure. Genesis 14. Genesis 14. Verse 5. Yeah, I'm gonna start at verse 3. I'm gonna start at verse 1. This is Genesis 14. I'm sorry, verse 1. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Orochi, Arochi, Slanki, if I ain't say that right, Israel, king of El Lazar, Kador Laomor, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that these made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and with Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shanab, king of Adamah, and Shemeber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bala, which is Zor. All these were joined together in the Vale of Siddim, which is the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Kedorlaomer, and in the 13th year they rebelled, and in the 14th year came Kedorlaomer and the kings that were with him, and smote the Rephaims, and Ashtaroth, Karnaim, and the Zuzims, and Ham, and the Emims, and Shaveh, Kirathayim. So Ham was, as we stated, Ham basically Mizraim, man, and they had kings, Slankio. So they had kings that was with him, and it was kings that came out of the land of Ham, man. You know, for better words, if you understood Israel. What am I looking for? Let's go to Psalm 78. Psalm 78 and verse 51. And small all. Let me go and look up. He made a way to his anger. He spared not their soul from death, but gave their life over to the pestilence, and smote all the firstborn in Egypt, the chief of their strength in the tabernacles of Ham. So Mizraim, man, was one of the chief of their strength. So Mizraim, Egypt was strong, man. And it's telling you about that in the book of Psalms, that Egypt was plagued for having us in captivity, man. And they got destroyed, man. So like, yeah, let's get some more precepts. Psalms 1:5 and 23.